seems you can't read the paper or watch the news without seeing another heartbreaking story about a senior being taken advantage of. What we also noticed here at Peel Elder Abuse Prevention Network is that in our richly diverse population, many of these frauds and scams target seniors in our ethnic communities. We're grateful to New Horizons for Seniors for enabling us to take a closer look at the way scams and other forms of financial abuse affect older adults, especially those whose first language is other than English. Some of these scams have a long history, others are as new as the latest high-tech gadget. Some are perpetrated by complete strangers who are suddenly your best friend. And sadly, some financial abuse may be as close as your own family.
So, okay everyone, last week I asked you to think about some case a person tried to trick you into getting their money. Or maybe you heard about something happening in our community. So who first?
Yes. Okay. So I brought this letter which came in the mail to my house last week. Mm-hmm. It's a letter from a bank in Hong Kong. Very official. It says, I'm the only one whose last name matches this man who died last month. Wow. And also said they are going to give me $1 million inheritance. $1 million.
Wow, 1 million.
All that I have to do is to open an account and pay the lawyer $2,000 to process the will. Then the money is mine.
Oh, what's the problem? You just got out very lucky.
My son looked it up in the internet and said, Dad, save your money.
Wow, very smart. Anybody know of other scams?
How about when they take your child in the school and ask me ransom?
Ransom?
Ransom.
Yeah, I saw that too. They make the kids go into hiding. Yeah.
Okay, Winnie, why you so quiet? You usually have so many things to say.
Yes. You all know Mrs. Chan? She doesn't want to come today because she feels bad. She feels ashamed what happened to her. But she wants everybody to know what happened.
Oh no, what happened? She's okay?
Yes, she's okay. She wants me and asked me to tell her story to all of you. She doesn't want it happen again to other people. You know Mr. Chan? He is sick all winter. Mrs. Chan is very worried. She goes to temple every day and pray that her husband can get better. So one day, a lady, she don't know this lady, talked to her, asking her whether she knows this Chinese doctor. And then asked Mrs. Chan, why are you so sad? And Mrs. Chan, she started to cry. Tell the lady about Mr. Chan. The lady said, I know women can help many people. Same like Mr. Chan. Sound fishy to me, say Mrs. Chan. Probably want a lot of money. No. Never ask for money. She have give. Can't be sold. So no money ever, says the lady. So Mrs. Chan asked to meet this person. And the lady said, come this afternoon to Tai Bakery. We can meet this special woman and have tea. So Mrs. Chan said, that's all? The lady said, to show your sincere heart to the husband, Bring some fine things like gold, pearl, and jade.
Aha, I knew it. Mrs. Chen no fool, right?
The lady said, no, not to keep. Just hold it. So she feel the love you have for her husband. So Mrs. Chen go home and see Mr. Chen asleep on his chair. It's hard for him to catch his breath. She put all her gold ring and pearl necklace, other things of value, not tell Mr. Chen where she goes and walk to bakery.
Mr. Chen, can I pour some tea for you?
Oh, I know. It's difficult time for you. For your loved one is sick. So you be strong, both of you. Oh no. I feel something, spirit. I'm so frightened for you. I saw the spirit is around your house. They want to take Mr. Chen away.
More.
Wait. I saw something. Why the spirit is still waiting around your house? What they are waiting for? They want to show their knowledge of their power? Yes, I think. Oh, you have to bring something for me to show your love to your husband? Okay, show me. Oh, so what I do is, okay, put all the thing. I hope the spirit will pass over your husband, okay? I pray for you. I do this with all my power and all my knowledge. The rest is up to you. Remember, don't open it with 3 full days. Don't tell anybody and your husband. If you open it, your husband will be in a grave danger. Go. Quickly go home. Yeah, quickly go home.
So Mrs. Chen go home, sit with Mr. Chen, not tell him about meeting in the bakery. Mr. Chen still sick, so Mrs. Chen so nervous. 1 day goes by, 2 days, no change. Mrs. Chen cannot wait any longer. Find bag, opens, stones, nothing but small stones.
So sad. Feel so bad for Mr. Chen.
And Mr. Chen?
No better, no worse, same as before.
He should go to the police.
I tell her, but she say no. She feel shame and she feel bad.
Okay, maybe we try to get her back to our group next week. We are here to support, not to judge.
Yes.
Excuse me, I hope you don't mind. I heard you when you talked about your sister in Syria, how much you would love to have her with you in Canada.
I would love to have her. She's always in my prayers.
You see, I work with a wonderful woman who brought many families together. Her client called her a miracle worker. May I give you her business card? Perhaps she could help you to bring your sister.
Well, I'll take the card, but so far, all the answers are no, not possible. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Oh, Mrs. Ali, I'm so glad you took my advice.
Mrs. Hamza just finishing with the client. Please have a seat.
Bless you, bless you. I am so grateful my family will be whole again. This lady is truly a miracle worker.
Oh, please. I am only doing my job. But thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Mrs. Ali, welcome. Come into my office. Zainab, please hold on my calls.
Sure.
A difficult case, but not impossible. Never impossible. Thank you for bringing all the documents. Did you bring your passport?
My passport?
Well, if you are to sponsor her.
Oh, yes.
Zainab? Zainab, could you please make copies of all of Mrs. Ali's documents?
Okay, Mrs. Hamza.
And the check, so we can get started immediately.
So much.
Could you make it to cash, please? Thank you. Now, you have a good day, Mrs. Ali.
Look at this picture when we were girls. She says 3 months, Rabia. It's so wonderful. You'll be here on June 1st. Please stay safe, Rabia. A man named Hassan will contact you. I thought last check covered all the difficulties. It's hard to be patient. Yes, I understand.
The number you dialed is not in service.
What a day we had. We had just finished celebrating our Black History Month. And wow, it is such an awesome program. What do you guys think about it?
And Sister Myrtle was singing, and that song was so good. What did you think of Sister Myrtle?
Oh, she was really great. She was really
and
great.
the choir?
Yes,
choir was lovely.
And the food.
After all of this, we have to talk about scams that affect seniors. And Sister Faye, you have a story, don't you?
Oh, yes, do I. I were at home and my doorbell rang, and so I looked through the window. There was this handsome guy there. So I went down, and he says to me, "You have a crack in your window." I said, "I know." He said, "And the other windows want to fix too. I can help you today." So I said, "In what way?" He said, "Yes, if you give me a check today, I can fix the windows." Because I said, "Today?" He says, "Yes," because he has other job lined up. Immediately, I get scared. And I said to him, I said, "Oh no, give me a minute. I'm going to use the phone." And he went away.
I was in the construction business, I know. No contractor, real good contractor, want any money from you. I know that for sure. They don't want money from you. All they want is a job. And they tell you how much, and if you agree, they let you sign a piece of paper and they say, okay, I'll start the job tomorrow and so on.
I was on the bus and this lady came on the bus and was saying, I'm so scared because I get a call and say I owe the government and I have to go and pay the money right now. So I said to her, that's a scam. And she said she didn't know that there's a scam. I said, this thing going around, you didn't hear about it? She said, no. So she said, okay, I'm going to the bank. And then she said when she went to the bank manager said to her, that's a scam. No government calling you to pay any money. This is a scam, so don't worry about it.
The one that came and rang my doorbell.
Yeah.
And when I came out, he had some phony badge on him, and I said to him, what is it that you want? He said, oh, these older homes, they don't have a filter for your water. So I says, where is that filter supposed to be? He said, somewhere in your home. I said, and I'm not letting you into my home. So he said, no, I don't want you to come into my home. And I said, I'm not giving you any money either. But he looked sort of sheepish. So I said to him, but how comes I didn't know about this filter thing? Because usually if the government is going to fix filters or whatever, the city would let me know that this is what's going on. However, he stood there and trying to talk me into agreeing to do this filter. So I said to him, the longer you stay there, you see that camera up there? Your picture is on there, and I'm recording you too. And he took off like
this guy came to the door and he buzzed, and I go out and I said, can I help you? And he said, oh, I'm here to check on your water heater, your rental water heater. I said, did you call? He said, no. I said, and how would I know that you're legit? And he showed me his badge, and I said, look, you know what? Go, and next time you call and make an appointment. I'm not here sitting waiting for you to come show up at my door, and I'm not letting you in here.
And then we have the internet scam where people are buying products online, they're buying travel especially online, and they're telling you to go to Western Union, pay for the ticket in Western Union, and then they will send you the ticket. So I was standing behind this lady. She was saying she come to pay for travel on that she booked online. So I said to her, booked online. I really had to talk to her because she was paying, she was going to pay. And she said, I took her in the head. I said, no, that is a scam. By the time you give this money to Western Union, whatever they tell you, you go back to the internet, there is not that website anymore, it's gone. But really, I think it's because the seniors, those that don't come out, they don't see enough of anything going on.
You're not educated
and they don't know what's going on. And so, when that call comes in, they feel so glad to have somebody to talk to, that they don't care what that person is. They'll even give them their room number, their apartment number. They'll do anything because they are so isolated.
Their mind is slow. They feel that their mind is slowing down, and they're not as sharp as they used to be. So therefore, they feel they're a good target to go after.
I don't know, for whatever reason, the younger generation thinks that the senior citizens have money.
Yes, they do.
We have money because we're here and we're working a long time. We gotta have money.
Sometimes the scammer is family members. You have like daughters and sons that really abuse their parents. Yes.
ਸੁਰਜੀਤ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਲੋਕੀ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ ਮੈਂ ਚੱਲੀ ਹਾਂ
ਦੁੱਧ ਤੇ ਬੈਠ ਤੇ ਸਹੀ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਦੂਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਏ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚੱਲ ਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਟਾਈਮ ਵੀ ਵੇਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਟੋਰੀ ਦੱਸ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ So my sister, she's sort of afraid to tell her story, and it says it's a shame to say these are her own personal things to the public, to friends, and she doesn't want to talk about it. And
I totally understand, Mrs. Gill, and you have to understand that when you come and see a lawyer, everything that we speak about is protected, and it's held in the highest confidence. And there's nothing I'm going to do, and there's no action that I'm going to take without your instructions. And a lot of people don't come and talk about these things, which is why a lot of these issues go unnoticed, and people go unhelped. So I want you to feel like this is a safe place where we can talk about what's going on, and hopefully I can give you some advice and some options.
So that's good. So tell your story right from the beginning, what happened. When Kamal Paji passed away, and he's my brother-in-law, and just treat him like a brother. So go on.
About 2 years ago, we were married 52 years, but I was lonely. It was hard, and my son said, Ravi said, Mom, why don't we move in with you, and that way we can take care of the house, and you will have your grandchildren with you.
And how's that been working out?
It was good. I was happy to have my family with me, and I was not alone, and my grandchildren were with me.
And then things obviously have changed.
Yes, Mrs. Sandhu, my daughter-in-law Rita's mom moved in, and they said they need my bedroom for her. And I would be more comfortable downstairs in the basement.
Oh, and are you more comfortable in the basement?
No, it's really small, and it's dark, and it gets really cold, and I asked them to turn the heat up, and they say that the gas bill gets too high, and I forgot.
Talk about the bill.
Once I forgot to pay the bill, and the gas company called, and my son picked up the phone, and he said they threatened to turn the gas off, and he said from now on he will be taking care of the bills.
Okay, go on.
And he said that we have to open a joint account so that he can take care of the bills, and he made me go to the bank and open the joint account.
So it wasn't your idea to add him on the account. And can you explain a little bit when you say he made you put his name on the account?
Yeah, he got very angry, and he said, "You don't trust me. Otherwise, they will move out, and I can be alone again."
And have you been aware of all of this that's going on?
No, not till the last week. I live in Vancouver. I run my business, so I travel a lot. I came here last week, and I saw what was happening there, and I was shocked.
So tell me what you've been observing with her and the family in the house.
When I saw, one thing I saw living in the dark basement, and everybody there is so disrespectful. Even the children talk to her very rudely, and you are working like a slave for them.
Is that true?
I try to help, and I do the cooking and laundry, but it's not good enough. They say it's too spicy, or I ruined the blouse, or it's always something.
Could tell her what you found last week.
Last week I saw the mail, and it was in my name. Usually my son gets all the mail, and I saw it was a bank statement, and I had $60,000 in investment my husband left in my name, but now only 5,000 left.
Oh my, and have you confronted or questioned your son about that account?
I tried. He got so angry, and he said, "You belong in a nursing home, and you have gone crazy." And now he also wants to put his name on the house, and he says, why we have to pay the lawyer after I die? And the house is the only thing I have left.
So once you see why you brought her here to tell the story, can you help her?
Well, first of all, Mrs. Gill, I'm sorry that you're going through this, and I think you've come and spoken about it at the most opportune time before it's too late. So this is a really a good first step. And a lot of people, as I had told you earlier, only come and seek advice when it's too late. So what I suggest is we take a break, we start at the beginning, we go through it, the story in a little bit more detail so that I can ask you some more detailed questions. And at the end of it, we'll just discuss some of the options that you have available to you. How does that sound?
Okay.
I think financial elder abuse is something that we're seeing a lot more of as estate and elder law lawyers in the community. Most of the time it comes across as very innocent family members or new friends of seniors that are coming into one's life, and it often looks like help and assistance. But when you're talking about seniors and potentially seniors with some form of mental incapacity or a sickness or an illness, you end up with seniors who are quite vulnerable. And I think in that particular scene, the joint account issue is something that we're seeing more of as well. Because initially it really comes about, as I said, in the form of somebody wanting to help. But what the senior doesn't always realize is that they're usually, in making something joint, potentially giving up something, and they're actually giving up ownership of things.
Hi, I'm your host Amni, and this is Eye on Peel. Our focus today is fraud targeting seniors in our ethnic communities, and my guest here is Detective Ishmael from Peel Police. Welcome, Detective. Would you like to tell us about what you do?
I'm a 16-year member with Peel Regional Police. I currently work as a detective in our Diversity Relations Bureau. I'm working with our community members in many different functions. We work very closely with our fraud bureau as well to help pass along information that we think is useful for them, to protect them and insulate them from being victims of frauds.
So let's look at the first scene. There is a man who receives a letter in a bank from Hong Kong saying he is the sole heir to a large fortune. And to gain that large fortune, he needs to pay the lawyer several $1,000s. What would you advise this man?
This is what we would commonly refer to as an advance fee scam. They can usually communicate this in different forms by way of an email, a phone call, a text message. And when it comes to this, sometimes some of the things that they'll suggest this is for is an unclaimed inheritance, an unclaimed bank account that's being left over, lottery winnings, family emergencies, sometimes even a romance scam. Again, if you feel that this is the case, if any of this is happening, you would never wire any funds, you never purchase any gift cards, you never deposit any money into a Bitcoin. That's what they'll try to actually make you do in order to kind of, get this money from you. So if you feel that you're dealing with any of these issues, hang up right away, call the police, let us know, and we'll work through it.
Also in that scene, we see a senior concerned for her husband's health being cheated out of her valuables by a so-called healer. Is this a common scam?
The reality is that there are no, even though this is not a very common occurrence in the region, what these people tend to do is they try to prey on the vulnerabilities of our elderly community, prey on the vulnerabilities of the love that they have for those that they care about, and suggest to them that, because of the money that they receive, that they're going to be able to commit, these healing acts in order to help them. There are no healers out there that can heal your family members or your loved ones for a cash amount. So again, if you get any calls like that, hang up right away. Don't disclose any information, and please give us a call and let us know.
Canada is known as a nation full of immigrants, and many people here would love to sponsor their loved ones from overseas to be here. A lot of my family members here are sponsored, and so I understand how stressful and the insecurity that comes with it, being a sponsor. So how would you deal with people getting offers saying they could speed up this process?
One of the most important things when dealing with these type of things is to make sure that the person is an authorized person, that they do represent an official, that they're working in an official capacity. And just remember that having such a representative won't necessarily give you special attention to the application. It won't speed up the process in any way. So just please keep that in mind even when you are dealing with individuals like this to help support you through the process. Again, very important for you to note with the applications themselves, do not lie in the applications. That is against the law. Keep all of your documents. Don't sign any blank forms that you don't know what they're specific for. If you don't understand any of the questions on these forms or any paperwork, please ask somebody that you trust, that you know, to translate it for you, for example. If there's trouble understanding what the message really is, always get copies and keep copies of the documents that you're provided. And any time that you pay for something like that, you make sure that you get a copy of it, make sure that it's a signed form. Always keep those receipts. If and when you do make a payment like that, not only do you want the receipt, but you never make a payment in advance. I mean, to pay money in advance for something that you haven't received yet, under these circumstances, is something we certainly would suggest that you do. And again, never write a check out to cash in such circumstances, because ultimately this is what they want.
So what about that great deal on windows that Faye has offered?
There's actually laws to prohibit the sale of certain appliances in Ontario, door-to-door sales. However, windows don't necessarily fall under that. Again, just remember, if what these people try to do is they'll try to be oppressive, and they'll try to be very threatening, and they'll try to make you feel like this is something you have to do. Again, don't ever feel pressured to do so. If it's a real deal, it's going to be there tomorrow. Don't feel pressured in order to do something right away. Don't feel pressured to make that decision in that moment. Take some time to take a step back and do the appropriate research, and make sure that you're dealing with legitimate people that are there to provide the right service that they're there to do.
So a lot of people are getting those phone calls from Canada Revenue Agency saying that they owe a lot of money, and if they don't pay up immediately, that they'll get in trouble. So what would you advise for these people getting these types of calls?
Legitimate agencies such as the CRA, Citizenship and Immigration, the police, would never make a call and threaten you for monies that's owed in such circumstances. So just know that would never happen. The CRA will normally contact you by registered mail. So any phone call suggesting that they are from an agency such as the CRA should immediately be questioned.
To sum up, what general advice would you like to give to avoid becoming a victim of scams?
Some of the most important advice we'd give with situations like this is always keep all of your personal information, all your private information, including your social insurance number, passport, driver's license, date of birth. Keep that private. That's not something to be shared unless you're 100% comfortable who you're sharing it with. Also, be very careful with providing any such information over the telephone or internet. And again, unless you know exactly who you're speaking to, there's just no need for you to rush through something like that.
Elder Abuse Ontario, we're concerned about all forms of elder abuse, including physical, sexual, neglect, psychological, and financial abuse. Financial abuse can be perpetrated by your spouse, your adult children, or your grandchildren, which makes it a very complicated issue. When we look at the different ways that an older adult can be financially abused, we often see theft of power of attorney, not paying their fair share of expenses when they're living with the older adult, or manipulating the older adult to give them money for home renovations or for other things. We often see financial abuse tied to psychological abuse, as you've seen earlier in this video. And we often will see that the older adult is threatened to be institutionalized, or there may be threats that they cannot see their own grandchildren. When we think about this issue, we can understand how complex it is. And when we're looking at our immigrant communities, there may be additional barriers, such as language barriers or a lack of understanding of their rights here in Canada. When we think about this financial abuse issue, it really is a community issue. It can affect somebody like your own grandparents or parents, or even you yourself one day as you age. It is very upsetting to think about this happening to anyone. Even when I think about my grandparents, who are an integral part of my upbringing, who still today lead very active lives. We don't want this to happen to anyone in our community. Those older adults need support. One of the ways that you can help is to get involved. Join a local elder abuse network like the PEAPN Elder Abuse Prevention Network. Get involved. Learn about the warning signs and where you can go for help. In Ontario, we have the Senior Safety Line. This line is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, in 150 languages. They will be there to support you.